Hey YouTube, I'm Lucky, and today I'm bringing you
The Meta Report.
this is a video series where I break down the statistics from last weekend's Trials map to give you all the data you need in order to go flawless, hopefully next week and every week of Trials hereafter. So let's begin. Last week's map was the Dead Cliffs. Not my favorite map, but definitely not the worst map out there for Trials. The number one most used weapon was the Revoker with 1.1 million kills. That's insane. The only weapon to hit over a million. No surprises there. This weapon is so extremely OP. With sunsetting, we will see this weapon fade out, so that is something to look forward to, but that's not going to be until September. So the second weapon is the Fellwinter's Lie. Now this is a shotgun that is no longer available in the game. It was available last season, and as the time I'm making this video, it's currently not available in the game. Maybe Bungie will give a way for it to be available soon. If they do, I will definitely keep you up to date on Twitter. Make sure to follow me on Twitter if you want up to date of that news. But currently, you can't get Fellwinter's Lie in the game. The second best thing you can get would be a Mindbender's Ambition. But this weapon is insane. The most powerful shotgun in the game, without a doubt. The stats don't lie. It's the number 2 most used weapon. And kind of disappointing that the number 1 and the number 2 weapons are energy weapons. It kind of shows that the community as a whole is kind of crutching the energy weapons because they're so much more lethal than primary weapons. No surprises there, but it is a little bit frustrating. I would like to see the sandbox be balanced a little bit better, so that way we see a little more variety within the top few spots. But the number 3 spot is in fact a primary weapon, the Gnawing Hunger. Gnawing Hunger, go BIRT! And there really is no surprise as to why this gun is in the top 3. Super strong gun, has an insane hitbox, and just tends to hit really nice headshots with a god roll, which is so easy to get a god roll. With the god roll, this thing is super lethal, and in fact, it has actually dethroned the Suros regime, and it is the number 1 most used auto rifle in the game, which is insane. It's so surprising to me that it would be that strong. The Suros is in a lot of ways a much stronger auto rifle, but the Suros' strength is that when firing the weapon over time, it speeds up, and so it has a really fast time to kill when it's sped up. Before that, it just has a normal 600 RPM auto rifle time to kill. And although you'd think that sped up Suros would just be insane and you would see that more and more in the game, it seems to be few and far between that people actually use that. And to actually use the Suros and have to pre-fire a lot, it's kind of distracting. It kind of gives your position away. So I actually personally have completely left the Suros behind, even though it was my first exotic I ever found. It's my most beloved exotic inside Destiny 1 or Destiny 2. I've definitely left it behind because I don't really like it as much as I like the Gnawing Hunger anymore. Gnawing Hunger, go BIRT! No, Suros is number 4 slot. The number 5 slot, no surprises here. The most agile sniper in the game is the Beloved. Now, I do think that the Beloved will be replaced in September by the Omniscient Eye sniper rifle. This is an energy sniper that's actually a 140 and not a 90 RPM like the Beloved, but the benefit of the Omniscient Eye is that it can actually roll a snapshot and mulligan, so it's almost like an energy revoker that has the agility and like movement of the Beloved. So it's insane. The Omniscient Eye is really good. This is a sniper that you can currently get from the Garden of Salvation. Look for that snapshot mulligan roll. That roll is insane. I've talked about this many times before, but come September, when some of these weapons are sunset, you're going to want to look for other weapons. Obviously there will be new weapons coming out September that might even be more appealing than the Omniscient Eye sniper rifle, but as it seems right now, the Omniscient Eye is definitely one to grind for from now until September, so that way you can have that god roll ready for you day 1 September when that new sandbox change drops. And on to the number 6, we have another auto rifle in the top 10, the Summoner. I finally got my god roll on the last day of Season 10, and unfortunately, getting the god roll on the last day of Season 10 is kind of a sad time to get it, because the Gnawing Hunger came out just like a day or 2 afterwards, and so I ended up getting addicted to the Gnawing Hunger, and I never really got to use my god roll Summoner, and I see all the YouTube comments over and over again roasting me, saying, wow, you finally get the god roll Summoner, and you don't even use it, huh? Well, the timing was terrible. I grinded all Season 10, and I finally got the roll I was looking for after thousands and thousands of Trials tokens being put in, and it was just a little too late, because now the Gnawing Hunger is here, and even the stats don't lie here. The Gnawing Hunger is even stronger than the Summoner. The number 7 slot goes to the Dire Promise. No surprises here. The Dire Promise is my favorite kinetic hand cannon. Spare Rations is getting sunset, so you're going to want to transition onto something else, and the Dire Promise will be around a little bit longer. The Dire Promise is really nasty. A little surprised that I don't see the Thorn here in the top 10, but, you know, Dire Promise, a little bit stronger and a little more versatile considering it's a legendary weapon. You could add some exotics and some other slots. On to the number 8 weapon, we have the Mountaintop. The Mountaintop is the bane of my existence. I absolutely hate this weapon. This weapon is like having power ammo every single round. Why is this in the sandbox? Why, Bungie? Why? Why do you hate me? I hate the Mountaintop with a passion. If you use the Mountaintop, if you love it, nothing against you personally, but I personally do not like the Mountaintop in the sandbox. I think it has no place. It's too strong. It's too nasty. It's no fun. to play with or against, in my opinion, but each their own. If you're out there using the mountaintop yourself each and every day, you know, I hope you trip and fall on a cactus. But on to the next weapon. It is Bastion, the kinetic fusion. This thing is super nasty. Some people have actually been calling for a nerf on this weapon, which I think is a bit overkill. Maybe console players can argue with me, but on PC at least, this thing, you don't see it very often. When you do see it, it is kind of nasty, but it definitely isn't like nerf level nasty in my opinion. I think that it's really strong. We might as well leave it where it is right now. Console players, feel free to roast me in the comment section below. And on to the 10th and final weapon in the top 10 of Dead Cliffs, my beloved Gnawing Baroque. I'm so happy that this gun made it into the top 10. I cannot tell you enough about how amazing the sidearm is. It appeared in the top 10 multiple times in previous meta reports, and I laughed and I scoffed and said there's no way. But then I finally put this thing on. Go to the menagerie, farm it. It drops, if you have a fully masterworked chalice, it drops like 2 or 3 times from one completion. It's so easy to get a god roll. Get that quick draw swashbuckler roll. It's nasty. Like really, really nasty. It's so good. You're gonna love this weapon, and it's really, really fun to use when fighting against shotgunners because all it takes is a little bit of backpedaling, especially if you're using a mobility exotic. A little bit of backpedaling, and shotgunners are just left looking completely stupid as they try to shotgun you from 15 meters away, and you just absolutely melt their faces off with the Gnawing Baroque. It's so fun, so good to use. Definitely give the Gnawing Baroque a try. The overall population from this weekend was 140,000 players, which actually isn't that bad. Last week, I think it was like 120 something, so I was kind of looking scared because like I've said before, Trials can be officially declared dead, a dead playlist, over, finito, no good if we go below 100,000 in my opinion, in my humble opinion, but it seems like we're not quite there yet. It's definitely not the strongest playlist within Destiny 2, that's for sure, but it definitely has its own core player base and it definitely seemed to do okay this weekend. I personally had a pretty rough weekend. I matched a good amount of cheaters, a good amount of triple recovery teams, and so on and so forth. But I still had fun playing on Dead Cliffs, and I did definitely use a ton of Gnawing Hunger and Astral Horizon, which actually, in fact, didn't make it into the top 10 here. The Astral Horizon not making it into the top 10 this week, which is kind of sad, but still my favorite kinetic shotgun, and definitely the best in-slot kinetic shotgun. So there you have it. That is the meta report. Let me know in the comment section below, what weapons are you using when you go into Trials of Osiris? What weapons are you finding success with and getting consistent flawlesses inside Trials of Osiris? I want to know. The people want to know. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe if you want more content like this, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.